Sometimes it seems that children cartoons contain more meaning than adult works. Remember The Lion King, Monster Inc., or Up. But Inside Out made me not just think, but also rethink a lot. The story about the emotions in a teenage girl's mind can answer many questions that borrow people even in adulthood. How to cope with anxiety, what to do when you feel very sad, and how not to be afraid to express your emotions. Since the first film had already gained massive popularity, no one doubted that the sequel would be just as successful. However, the depth of its idea took everyone by surprise. The film introduced new emotions, giving us the opportunity to see the human experience from a completely new perspective. In the first part, we were strongly encouraged not to ignore our sadness. However, in the second part, the focus shifted more toward anxiety, and sadness played a smaller role, which is a shame. Sadness is really the main character in this story. It's the emotion that helps guide Riley's thoughts towards self-reflection and personal growth. It gives her the chance to pause and ask herself if things are moving in the right direction. In the first part, sadness is kind of an outsider and no one really listens to her. Joy, on the other hand, acts like a tyrant, doing everything she can to stay in control. In several times in the movie, we hear that it's Sadness who reads all the instructions for the console that sends emotions into Riley's mind. No one else even looks at those instructions, only Sadness cares about how Riley's mind actually works. I think this is a metaphor, showing that in moments of sadness we can pause and look deeper into ourselves. Sadness gives us the chance for self-reflection, and that self-reflection leads to empathy. We also see this in the first part when Sadness feels empathy for a fictional character, something that Joy just doesn't understand. Each emotion is very well defined. Joy is the main emotion, the leader who controls most of the process. She is energetic, resourceful, and a little tyrannical. Disgust acts like a critic, mainly determining Riley's preference. Fear is there to warn Riley of danger. And anger reminds me of an office worker, a stressed businessman, whose nerves starts to break down by the end of the day. But then there's Sadness. Everything about her shows how unsure she is. The warm, oversized sweater she wears make you think of cold autumn nights full of loneliness. She is very hesitant and quiet, almost like she's always apologizing for being there. But look at what happens. Again and again, Sadness can stop herself from doing something. Over and over, she ruins everything, as Joy puts it. What could this mean? Could it be that sadness is actually the main emotion in Riley's mind, and Joy is just in control because the girl doesn't want to accept that fact? I believe that adults with a better understanding of themselves have their emotions more organized. That is why when we look inside the head of the parents, we see that each emotion has its place, and one emotion is clearly in charge for each person. Is it possible that Riley is a girl with a deep and philosophical mind, filled with sadness? After several failed attempts to push sadness aside, Joy finally realized that sadness is an important emotion that has its own role. Sadness helps Riley grow and become more thoughtful. In the second part, we hear similar things. At this point, you might think, great, Joy has figured it out and understand that every emotions matter. But no. As new emotions come in, Joy still doesn't get why any of this is important. In the second part, along with the new emotions, Riley's mind becomes more complex. We are told that deep memories shape her sense of self, which is blue. Do you think it's just a coincidence? At this point, sadness is treated with more respect and allowed to express herself. But the antagonist is also needed, and in this part, it's anxiety, which drive the old emotions out of Riley's mind. For the emotions to return to the control center, they need to be called back by sadness. Because in sadness, in moments of self-reflection, a person can relieve the hidden emotions. Along the way, we find out that sadness has teamed up with embarrassment, who also tends to reflect. He has figured out how to read the instructions for the control panel. In the end, these two help Riley bring back the other emotions and calm anxiety down. I think many of you have already decided on your favorite emotions. I know that a lot of people are big fans of joy, believing that only happiness and fun can make life good. I've also heard that disgust has become a favorite for many people because of its unique self-confidence. But I personally prefer sadness. She is a character who didn't try to be exceptional, who didn't try to change or break Riley. She simply stayed by her side, helped her cope with the tension, and made her wiser.